Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahushai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Chakudash. That belongs to the apostles and the elders, great millstone true well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, man. You Akim to Sadakim that do this thing and they have most truth and sincerity. On the pre-Shaman, this week's topic in transit is going to be entitled, all right, starts in the Middle East. All right, now what starts? As of late, I've been seeing so much different videos concerning World War III, right? I'm talking about in the world. You know, we've always been doing videos starting with the apostles and elders concerning World War III because that's pivotal, all right? That's our exit call, you know? When that thing pops off and the missiles start getting fired, despite what Esau might have told you in terms of getting under a bunker or try to go somewhere and like, you know, I'll give you a good example. Terminator 3, Judgment Day. They had some bunker. It was some old school bunker that the Terminator took them to because he understood that Judgment Day was inevitable. And, you know, fulfilling the prophecy that John Connor would, you know, raise up an army and fight the Terminators and such. But here's the thing, though. There's nothing you can do or hide, all right, to deliver yourself from these coming missiles, okay? The only thing one can do is hope and pray that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai beam them up in the chariots, all right? Because no flesh is going to make it in America. At the end of the day, Yahweh Shai is coming to deliver spirits, and that's what we're working with. We're working with the spirit, right? But many err in the world thinking that, all right, it's going to start with Russia, right? Russia's going to kick it off. Russia now, it is going to start in the east, but specifically now, we got to be specific, the Middle East, all right? And I'm going to be using my phone here, so that's what I'm looking at, so pardon me. Right now, this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "For behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring back again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem." Right now, when the Lord said, "Bring back captivity," we're gonna become captive back onto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. As the Apostle Paul says, we're prisoners of Yahweh Shai, right? So right now, the hopeful elect, they're the ones that's really cleaving to the Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and being captive onto him. But the rest of the nation of Israel are being rebellious, they're being niggas, they're being heathenistic and what have you. But there's going to come a time when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to bring back Judah. And the reason it says Judah and Jerusalem is because the kingdom was rent into two after the situation with King Solomon. The kingdom became rent, you know, it got split to him. He had the kingdom of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and I believe Jeroboam took the remaining 10 tribes to commit whoredoms, to commit adultery. So the Lord's going to bring us all back together. There's not going to be more beefings between the Spanish and the black, so-called. You know, we're going to be one people under one Lord. No more idolatry, just in righteousness, all right? When a new covenant begins. It says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, which is, Yahweh Shaphat means Yahweh's decision. And the Most High's decision is judgment, right? So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to bring them down into the valley of his decisions, right? But where is that? That begins in the Middle East. The Middle East is where this World War III thing will pop off. You know, like I said in the last video, Alexa said, you know, it was going to start with Russia shooting shit on Germany or some shit like that. I'm like, oh, Alexa's going off. Alexa knows a lot of shit. She's an AI, but she don't know prophecy, all right? And she gave the exact date and time. So people trying to put timestamps on the Lord, and look, we just hasten the day. We hasten the day. If anybody's coming to you with a timestamp, that's off, man. All right. Only Yahweh in the heavens know the date and the time. Now, there's nothing wrong with hastening. There's nothing wrong with saying, look, Lord willing, this year, this month, this week, you know, we out of here. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. We're praying and hope because, you know, what was the first things the apostles asked the Lord after his resurrection? Will you now at this time restore the kingdom back to Israel? Like, yo, Lord, you gonna end this fucking Roman Empire or what? So the apostles and brothers have always been in the spirit of hastening the destruction, all right, of this evil ass kingdom. Okay. Now, it says, and will plead, Salakia, and will plead with them there for my people. Now, who's the Lord's people? The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know. That's the Lord's people. How do we know that? You know, what makes us so confident in that? Well, the prophecies. You know, there'll be telltale signs for the people of Israel. You know, all right. So in the not ancient world, let's go like to the Wild Wild West, right? In the Wild Wild West times, there was no photographs. There was no let me say not no photographs. There wasn't like yeah, even before there was like now I say photographs was around that point. The point I'm making is there was no digital camera like we have now and shit, or even like a camera just real quick. You have to. There was a whole bunch of setup, and you have to be under a booth. So when somebody committed a crime or a bandit, all right, they wouldn't really know exactly what he looked like. But what they'll do is they'll give detailed description, all right, and then the artist will come up with a rendition based on what they heard, all right, of what this criminal looked like or what this vigilante looked like, right? And if enough people, you know, describe them correctly, if they, you know, after they keep doing this particular crime, as soon as you put up the picture, yeah, that's him. So that's how things were done back then. Now, the Bible does that with identifying certain peoples in certain nations in the scriptures, all right? It does that with Esau, all right, because he's a criminal, all right? But in a righteous sense, in terms of finding the right people, it does that with the nation of Israel. It's left descriptions, clues, and then the same thing. You know, you do a rendition, like who fits that? Who fits that particular description? Okay, Israel, the curses, the blessings, all right, the being above everybody. Wait a minute, that's the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Esau, the devil, cunning, wicked, giving the world and doing wicked witness with it. Oh, that's a so-called white man. So, red, you know, so different. The Lord did it that way in that sense too. Like he left a bunch of descriptions. Like, all right, so this is how you know who this is and this is who that is, all right? And through the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, all right, the prophets, the men of the Lord, have pulled back the veil, the covering that Esau has cast upon all these particular nations, all right, and revealed who the true people of the Lord are and who the devil are, all right? So we know through the prophecies of the scriptures that we are indeed the children of the Most High, pursuant to scriptures like Deuteronomy 28 chapter, Deuteronomy 7 and 6, all right, and Romans, okay? Spirit itself bear witness, all right? The spirit of prophecy bears witness that we are the children of the Most High. All right, so the Lord's going to plead there for his people, for the sins and atrocities that these nations has done unto the Lord's people. Every fucking nation, every 17 nation at one point or another in history, all right, had us in subjection. And why is that? Because we, the nation of Israel, commit whoredom, spiritual fornication by worshiping their gods. So the Lord said, you want to worship and serve their gods? Well, I'm going to have them serve you, which is sort of backwards because they were meant to serve us. Yeah, I mean, the Lord is not backwards, but the Lord did that because we were doing some backward shit. So the Lord puts us in a backward situation where, you know, yes, you're gonna serve your servants, and that's what the nation of Israel has been doing, and it's gonna change shortly. All right, when these prophecies expedite, and they will, and you know, the chips comes to pass, and the missiles come to pass, and the deliverance comes to pass. It says, and for my heritage, right? All right. So the scriptures tell us that the meek shall inherit the earth, right? So the Lord's inheritance is his people. Okay. The Lord promised us the planet Earth. All right. What was that? Second Ezra. Oh man. It says that the world was created for our sakes. I'm sure brother, you know, will leave that quote. I believe it's 2 Ezra 6. When it goes into Adam around the 50th plus verse, all right, that the world was created for our sakes. Reading on, it says, yeah, for my heritage Israel. So I broke it down by itself anyways. The inheritance of the Lord is Israel. Yasha Alami, he's a prince of power. A prince inherits a kingdom, right? It says, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted. So we're scattered, man. All right. This is why this whole World Wide Web thing is going on, because the nation of Israel is scattered everywhere amongst every nation, right? So we gotta do videos, all right, and we can't just discredit, all right, if somebody reaching out from China, like, yo, this word is clicking with me, you know. Oh, Vietnam, you had a lot of Jakes in Vietnam, all right, POWs, prisoners of war, all right, that were breeding those women in them different nations, man. Germany, you name it. Israel is everywhere, all right? You can't go in a crook and a cranny where there's a population and the children of Israel is not possibly in there, man. You see? Because we're the salt of the earth. We're sprinkled all over the world to give it flavor. See? It says, and they have cast lots for my people. Now, again, even this scripture right here shows you who the Lord's people are, man. What do you mean, cast lots? Them slave auction. I got one nigga here, one nigga here, one nigga here, 6'5", one nigga left, So when they auction us off, little boy here, got a little girl, like, auction us off. And that's what they did, man. You see? And it says that they cast lots for my people, and I've given a boy for an harlot, right? Raped the children, the sons, forced men to rape their mothers, hence the term motherfucker. They did all sorts of atrocities, man. All sorts of atrocities, which we're gonna return judgment onto them, but we're not gonna be doing wicked shit like that. We're not gonna be breaking the laws, but we're gonna come out. Israel is very, like creative, so we're gonna come up with some righteous ways to get back at them, man. So-called white man is perverse, man. He'll probably get off on Papa his mother. Candace Owens put a video up, the #1 search thing on Pornhub, and it was like, fucking my stepsister, fucking my brother, fucking my stepmom. So that's what they into, man. You see what I'm saying? So we, the little crazy, freaky shit and disgusting things they did to us. We got Edomites now that's doing that willingly. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to put some torture on their ass and righteousness that they ain't gonna be pleased with, man. And Edomite hell might be just praising the Lord for 24 hours. That's hell to them, but to Jake, man, we love praising the Lord. I'm just giving an example. Like, righteousness is like a repellent to them. That's what really get under their skin. It says, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine. So yeah, the sons and the daughters of the nation of Israel were traded like booty. It says that they might drink, and they were living deliciously, off the slave trade. It says, yea, what have you have to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, right? The Africans, because it says, and all the coast of Palestine, will ye render me a recompense? Right, so the different nations have, it's called the triangular slave trade. So it was a third party, so-called Jew financed the ships, so-called white man brought us over from the coast of Africa, from the Hamites, I believe Ishmael provided the ships. Ishmael provided the ships. So-called white man did what he did, and so-called Africans did what they did. But they're all involved, man, and they all got to friggin' pay. All right? And it says, will you render me a recompense? You can't. This 40 acres and a mule, money. No, you can't buy back what you've done. That's how the so-called white man, their children complain of a godly father. One of the biggest things that trigger them is when you call them racist. I have black friends, and because they that shit hurt. Like they're conscious, not they're conscious, but like they don't like how it looks on their resume, if you will, of their history, their track record. Because now they try to portray themselves as a beacon of light, but it's like, wait a minute, slavery happened, and there's nothing you could do to say it didn't. All right, so it says, will you render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return recompense upon your own land. Right? So you can't, the scriptures tell you that the cedars of Lebanon is not sufficient for it, man. You can't sacrifice enough offerings or whatever, all right, to bring back what y'all did to the apple of the Lord's eye, man. That's how come these missiles, there's a lot of judgment's going to be going on, man. That's why the Lord is bringing back so much population on the planet Earth, because it's for great future judgment right now, man. That's about to take place. It says, Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly and pleasant things, right? So they've, two foes, okay? They've robbed and pillaged, all right, the trophies and rubies and golds of, King David and what we had in the tabernacles, right? But the first and foremost is when if we read a verse above, the Lord's gold and treasure is Israel. That's in Lamentations 4:1-2. All right. The men of Zion compared unto fine gold. All right. So that's really the Lord's treasure, and that's what you've raped, robbed, and pillaged. It's pleasant things. It says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye may remove them far. Yeah, see? So, man, you see the prophecies, man. Joel speaking about this in the past. He's in the past speaking about the future in the past tense. So the Lord is, man, that's heavy. You see? All right. So the Grecians are the so-called white man. We were sold on to. That's how come there's a distinction between a true African, a natural Gentile, and an unnatural Gentile. All right, which is an Israelite that's maybe scattered in the coast of Africa. And you man, they don't like throwing doodles in there, eat each other, and taking cow piss showers. Jake get into that shit. That's the heathen stuff. They're perverse. But it definitely in western parts of Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, you're gonna have a lot of Israelites there. And you can tell those are the ones that be putting together them Afro beats and they dancing all swaggy and shit. Those are the Israelites. The ones in East Africa, Sudan and shit, jumping around and hitting each other in the head. Those are them true Hamites. It says that you may remove them far from their borders, and we've been removed far from our homeland. All right, our homeland is over there in Israel. A lot of these jakes say, "Oh man, let's go back to the motherland, Africa." Wait a minute, no. Galatians 4:6. Israel, Jerusalem is free, which is the mother of us all. Civilization started in the Middle East, man. That's the homeland. Right? I know fucking goddamn Africa, man. And you jakes go to Africa, y'all can't even stay there. The shit stinks, man. Y'all can't even survive those harsh ass conditions and shit like that, and mingle with them Hamites and dance with them damn lions. It says it says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them. See? So the Lord is going to deliver us out of this captivity, all right? America is one big prison camp, all right? That was a documentary the apostles did. I'd produced, and I'd edited, okay? Years ago, it was one big prison camp in America, right? And it says, behold, I'll raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own heads. And how is the Lord going to recompense you devils and you nations? By gathering you up and having y'all shoot missiles on each other, man. This whole entangling alliance is for a reason. There's a reason the small nations are entangled with large nations. So if you don't have the strap, let's say Syria, you don't got that ICBM strapped on you, guess what? Russia does. All right? And Syria's ally, and Iran, you don't got that strap, well, guess what? You have an EMP that you could blast, all right, and cut off the Strait of Hormuz. So the Lord is setting up these little nations, all right, to have huge impacts on the world. And the point being is, all that is flowing back into the Middle East, man. And that's the land of Israel, the state of Israel, all right, run by the imposters, all right, small hats. They're creating constant strife and shit like that over there. All right, but the reason being is because, again, they're not the people. They're not the people of the Lord. They're not keeping the law, statutes, commandments. They're not the people. So there's going to be constant wars and crazy shit happening. You see? All right. It says, and I will send your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. Woo-wee, slavery. Oh, man. And they shall sell them to the Sebans, to the people far off, for the Lord has spoken. So we're going to be having our own trade. Going to have taskmasters over our enemy, over our slaves, And what's crazy is everything going to be done in righteousness. You know, because we're gonna be keeping the laws, and the scriptures tell you when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, because our judgment is gonna be just. You know, and our servants, the nations, after 1,000 years, they're gonna like our rulership, man. They're gonna respect, honor it, and love it, because what? Again, we're gonna be ruling in righteousness, man. It's not like these nations, like, you know, cutthroat deals and fuckery that they're going on with. All right. So, you know, I approach my destination, about to get this workout in, and give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Chakodash, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which you well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to the Dakim, that do this thing that most truth and sincerity. Shalom.